morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the Gifted Table. I am your excited host, Dr. Melanie Harris, and I'm so glad that you decided to pull up a chair and take a seat here at the Gifted Table. Today, our topic is about what glass ceiling? Breaking through the barriers. And I'm super excited to have these amazing three women joining us today. We have Tracy Burns, who's joining us today. She has been in the industry for over 17 years of experience. And she currently works for a construction lending company. Her sole responsibility includes commercial, acquisitions, and multifamily affordable housing. So glad to have her here. So let's welcome Tracy Burns. And then we also have today Stephanie Walton. She has been a corporate executive for many, many years, but her life experiences also has put her on the road to become an author as well. And her main thing is to help people to realize their visions, their goals, and to reach their success. She has worked for Fortune 500 companies, and I'm so glad that she's here and she's joining us from the East Coast where it's a tad bit chilly. So welcome, Stephanie. Welcome to the Gifted Table. Thank you for taking your seat. And then we also have Cora Dorado. Now, Cora Dorado, she is a family attorney, a family law attorney. Cora and I have been knowing each other for many years. We actually went to school and got our master's together in organizational leadership. And at that time, she was a paralegal. So I've seen my good friend go from being a paralegal to an attorney in a law firm, just blessing and helping families in Southern California. And I'm so excited to have her here with her many years of experience. So welcome to the table, Cora. Thank you for being here. All right, so we are going to get started, everyone. So what I found out, guys, that in November of 2019, Deloitte published an article that cited that in 2019, the proportion of women in leadership roles with the financial services, so working in finance and things like that, was 21.9%. 21.9%. But hey, by 2030, is looking to jump to about 31%. How is that even possible? With all the women working in the financial services, only 21.9% of them are in executive roles or in leadership roles. In 2010, 37% of lawyers were women in the US. Isn't that amazing? But guess what? Most people who are attending law school, they're women. They're women. A new record of 23 women, 23, we're so excited, 23 women, that's 8% are now running global 500 businesses. That's a pitiful shame. 8% of people running global 500 businesses are women. This is according to Fortune magazine. And this number is from an increase in 2020, which was 14 women. So ladies, we have work to do. So let's talk about it. Scoot up close. For all of you here, the three women who are here, to get to the top of where you are, we must first enter a door, right? In order to get anywhere, we got to enter a door. What made you pursue this career path that you're on?
I can speak and say that housing was not my career path. So I went to school and I was studying to be a forensic scientist. So I wanted to be a forensic scientist, and then I wanted to graduate to be a detective. So that was my actual career path. I got into housing because the pay was a lot better than it was for me to go just to kind of move up the ranks from being a corrections officer to probation and just kind of moving up. And the pay was a lot better with me going into housing. So when I first started, I started out at Kaufman and Broad Multifamily Group, and I was a project specialist there. But, since I have taken such a great pleasure in working in housing, but I actually still look back on wanting to be a detective. Like that was my major thing. But housing was not my career path.
Well, and those of you know, the education was not mine either, right?
Right.
That's why we have to be flexible in what we're doing on our journey. Yeah, because her degree is in criminal justice, everyone. It's in criminal justice.
Yes, so my degree is in criminal justice. And then I had a daughter, so I was thinking, you may want to just go with the higher salary at this time. And then, when I did receive the higher salary, I still wanted to pursue my career in criminal justice, but it just started to become a little bit too much. So I just chose housing.
Well, we're glad that you are at that table because you are making a difference in your position.
Definitely making a difference, yes.
And, Tracy, I would say the same thing. Mm-hmm. My original career plan was health education, ironically. And I ended up getting a job at a law office just as a temp and never once thought I was never even looked towards the legal field,
Mm-hmm.
And I just fell in love with it. And that was this temp job that I got over 20 years ago. I don't want to date myself too much, but and that's what changed my path, and it was the same thing. I really enjoyed law, and that still with helping people, but also the pay was better than health education, unfortunately, and I was a single parent. So that was a motivating factor too.
There's already two testimonies about how we just have to be flexible on our journeys, and we never know where it may lead us. Okay, Stephanie, tell us yours. Throw one in there.
So it's interesting. I went to college to go into any field where I could be in management, and I chose retail. Walked in off the street into a department store, and they hired me for their management program. Thought I was going to be in the stores for the rest of my life, and ended up getting put into a buying office and became a buyer, then managed buyers. And then someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, do you want to try running our operations in our buying office? And I said, sure, I'll try it. I'll try anything. Ran over there and started running a buying office for a multi-billion-dollar office.
Was that with the B as in boy?
Yes. It was a great opportunity to do the budget and finance.
Yes.
And do I had 8 different functions, and it was amazing. And then I hit a wall because I was like, I love coaching. I love helping people, and I was making great money. So how was I going to balance what I was really passionate about with the money I needed to make? And I decided I could do things concurrently. So carved time out in my schedule to write a book and start a coaching business. And so now I have a personal coaching business that I do in addition to my day job, where I help mostly women build their passions and fulfill their dreams. And most recently, again, I was tapped on the shoulder and asked for my Fortune 100 company to move to Boston and run our DE&I efforts.
Yes.
Which is exciting because I get to set the strategy for over 300,000 associates for our organization. So,
and for people who don't know what DE&I is, can you please let the people know what DE&I is? That is a new acronym that people are using in industries across.
Absolutely. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is a field my father told me never to be the Black person that did. And
don't be that person.
Don't be the person, because he was like, it's a heavy load. And what I realize now is it is hard work and it is heart work, and I love it.
I love that. Hard and hard. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So excited to be in a totally different field.
So ladies, I mentioned some stats a while ago, and we know that it's really a challenge oftentimes for women, period, women of color, it doesn't matter, to really start breaking through. What do you feel prevents women from securing the most senior leadership roles in their organizations?
I think it's 2 things. It's one, that we have to bear the children. So that takes us naturally out of the workforce. If you have 1, 2, 3 children, that takes you out of the workforce for 3 years plus caregiving.
Yeah.
So that, I think that is a natural barrier that we have. And then the second piece is what I have seen from my vantage point is there is a relationship, networking process to moving ahead. And without that, it's very difficult to be successful. There's a fallacy that the U.S. works as a meritocracy. The harder you work, the harder you get paid. It's who you have a relationship with. And I think women have to take that on and believe that's true and start working their networks.
That's that political savvy and also that social capital that you have to build by networking with other people. Tracy, Cora, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I'm going to go with Stephanie, and It is that glass ceiling syndrome. And we know that this was a term that was used in the 80s, along with another term that was
called, and it's still here.
It's still here, but it was a term that was used in the 80s, along with another term that was called mommy track. And at that time, it was common for women of childbearing age to be considered like less motivated and less disciplined than their male employees or their older female employees. So this kind of sideline promotions, sideline raises, and in turn resulted in women being placed on that mommy track list.
Wow.
And which prevented women from reaching senior management positions. So then they were kind of like forced to career paths that did not allow them to be promoted to senior positions. And this is also where FMLA, the Act of 1993, where women were given that 12 weeks of unpaid medical leave.
That's that Family Medical Leave Act.
Right, after having a child, so that she would at least be secured her position back into the workforce once she was done having her baby and able to come back to her job. So, I know we do say, this glass ceiling thing is very real. It's still relevant.
Yes,
again, it came out in the 80s, but it's still here. We see it every day. I see it.
And I'm so glad that you are all here, taking a seat at the table to have this conversation. And it's just me. I'm just thinking, I don't think a woman came up with that topic, mommy tracking.
No.
Just saying. Just saying. I don't think a woman would have come up with that title. But that's just me.
Yeah.
And I think along the lines with the mommy tracking kind of saying is the way society sets expectations a little bit differently for women too, especially women with young children, that, they're deemed selfish if they're putting their career before their family. And so trying to figure out that balance life, men were never considered selfish if they put their career above everything else. And they allowed their spouse to, delegate those other tasks to that spouse. So now that you're seeing this switch, it's harder for women to figure out that balance between the two, without getting that criticism from other parents and things like that as well.
And Corey, you told us you were a single mother when you were on your path. And so you probably had to even consider that when looking for jobs and what would be convenient for you, but as well as being able to care for your family.
Oh, absolutely. That was absolutely a major factor, is having a position that would give me the flexibility if I needed to, child gets sick or things like that. And I was fortunate enough to find a position that allowed me to do that, but a lot of people don't. And that makes it really difficult. If they are a single parent, they don't have family to support them in the system.
So ladies, when we're looking at this glass ceiling, which is totally real, thank you, Tracy, for, reaffirming that it's real and we're trying to break through this thing. What are some tools or strategies that you would say women use or that you've used to break through in your industry to get through that ceiling so that it's a reality and not just a dream?
I have moved up the ladder at my corporation. We're a nonprofit corporation, and I've been there for 17 years. I've been promoted 4 times. So recently my promotion, now I'm vice president of construction lending. And I work with a very good individuals, and my boss, he's a good person. He saw my worth. He saw that, hey, it's time for her to move up the ranks. Now, when you move from a senior relationship manager to vice president, things kind of change. So it's like now you're at another status and you're doing big things. So, but I feel like I had to work with my supervisor to find out what I needed in order to move up that ladder and what he expected of me. And then I really took a step back to see if this is something I even wanted to do. Do I want this position? Do I want to move up this ladder? Because, there's a lot of responsibility that goes with the title. And so I had to just kind of step back to see if this is something that I wanted to do. But, being a woman and a minority, you have to prove yourself. That's number one. You have to work on a high profile level. You have to take on projects you don't want to take on just to show that you do them. You have to, seek mentors that can support you. Either it's this mentor is in your organization or it's not, or out of your organization, but you do need mentors to kind of coach you just to get you to that level. So, and another thing I had to do was kind of create an action plan. So I kind of knew I wanted this.
I'm so glad you said that. Yes.
Action plan.
You had to take action.
I had to take action. Yeah.
You have to take action, and you have to build a coalition around you because you don't know what's required at that next level. And I'm so glad that hear you say that you thought about it. Is this something that I want to do? Because it's okay to be comfortable in positions that you're in. But when you know that you have the skill set, when you know that your ability is just as good or better than another person working with you and you've put in more work, go for it. Stephanie, I see you smiling over there. What you about to co-sign?
Well, I agree. Like, you have to write down what your strategy is. Like, what do you want to do? What will make you happy? And then what's your strategy to get there? I'm a big person. Like, before I took this job that I have, 5 years ago, I wrote down I wanted to be a chief strategic officer, and whatever that meant. There's my dog. And I sat down and said, if I want to get there, who do I need to know? What skills do I need to build? And through what avenue do I want to make that happen? And then I want to say something really maybe widely said. Be ready to walk away.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about step away from the table?
Be ready. Always be ready to step away. If you are not getting what you need and what you want in any organization, always be ready to step away and know your worth and go somewhere else. I think being fearless is critical to breaking any glass ceiling. And if you can't break it where you are, go find the place that will let you break it there. So my family always raised me to never be afraid to walk away from any place that challenged my dignity or my value, and to know my worth. So build your plan, know your worth, be ready to go if it's not working.
I think another really important thing too about walking away, and I think that's great advice, as well as to walk away when you leave that position with grace, with elegance, because don't burn those bridges. I can't tell you how many times I've had old employers, give great references. Trust me, there's been times I've had to bite my tongue with some of my former employees, but I'm glad I did, and just took the high road, because, there's going to be a better door opening up,
That is so true. And I often tell people, don't commit professional suicide because you wanted to get back at someone or you wanted to argue with someone just because they're not allowing you to have a breakthrough. Never set a match to a bridge that you may have to cross again. I totally believe in that. You just keep your grace, you keep your confidence, you keep your integrity, and you just move on, right? Move on and just do you. Looking back, what would you tell yourself now to prepare for your position?
I kind of looked at it as a different way. Like, looking back, what would I tell myself now to prepare for this leadership role? I would say, again, remember in the beginning, I said I wanted to be a forensic scientist.
Yes.
So I definitely would have changed. If I knew where I would be now, back then, I would have definitely changed my degree to have my MBA in finance. I would have just taken all finance courses and just kind of being in that. I was self-taught.
Yes.
So I was self-taught. Everything that I know, I was self-taught because I was.
What that says about you, though, as a person, right?
I was that determined to learn what I needed to learn. So looking back, I think I would have changed my degree preference.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cora, what about you?
I'm having a hard time with that question. I would like to say some perfect answer, but to be honest, My
Keep it authentic.
response is there
This is a safe place.
there wouldn't be anything I would say because it is my background that made me where I am now.
Perfect.
But I can't say, okay, yeah, if I would have done this, it would have been different. Yeah, there's certain paths like I could have done a little bit easier and maybe a little faster. But overall, I think it's the combination of the journey that also prepares you for being in this position.
Two things. I would have said, know myself better, know who I was better back then. I would have spent more time on myself and less on other people and worrying about what other people were going to do for me or give to me. I would have focused a lot more on myself. And the second thing I would have done is told myself there are unwritten rules on this path.
Yeah.
Everything will not be known, and pay more attention to the unwritten rules than you do to the rules that you can see.
I love it. I love it. So now I'm going to ask you, we have all of these women who've joined us, and I'm so glad that they're here. What is something that you all want looking ahead? And what is it that you need to get there?
Well, okay, I'll start again.
Keep the trend going, girl.
I'm just going to keep it on a work level, but I think just looking ahead, what do I want? I don't know how long I want to stay in finance. I think, I would like to look ahead of working on the legislative side.
Nice.
I would like to go out and be a lobbyist for housing.
Yes.
At the state level.
Well, that's what you want, boo.
That's what I want. I want to propose new legislation, and amend what's already there.
So what do you need to get there?
Listen, I need to change to go from finance to being a lobbyist. That's what I need to do.
So we'll start networking.
It's not something that can't be done, because if I want it, I know that I could do it. It's just that I have to just start, thinking about making the transition and finding that balance and that level of what I want to go out and, I want to be a great lobbyist.
Yes.
So, I have to go out and just kind of find out where I fit in there.
I'm almost saying jokingly, I want to retire. No, I finally gotten to the place where I'm really very happy with where I am with my professional career. So it's really just kind of maintaining it. I don't want to, I'm really trying to keep a particular balance between, developing my firm and also having my personal time more.
Yes. So what do you need for that balance, my dear?
Keep doing what I'm doing, and I don't know.
And I'm so super proud of you.
Lots of patience. No.
Yeah, I'm so super proud of her as well, guys. So super proud of Cora. She's amazing. All right, Miss Stephanie.
I'm with Cora. I don't want for anything except to keep learning and growing and being a good role model for my two girls so they can do whatever they want to do in life and know that it's okay to prioritize themselves.
Yes.
Show them that I'm going to prioritize myself and my health, my well-being, as they should. I don't want our next generation of women to put themselves last so they can stay in the same place. So
yes, I am so honored to have these three amazing, powerful women here today. My goodness, round of applause. You're awesome. You've brought so much to the table today, and I know that your words are going to connect with someone or multitudes of people. So keep doing what you're doing, ladies. I appreciate you all. So to Miss Tracy Burns, thank you. Love you. To Miss Stephanie Walton, love you. Keep doing what you're doing. And my girl, Miss Cora, love you, my dear. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing and keep inspiring others. So ladies, I just want to tell you all, remember, stay grounded, innovative, fierce, transparent every day. In other words, stay gifted.